Hey Cecil, what's up, man?
Hey, pretty good, Burke. So we gotta update this database that we got, right?
We do. We're moving to the free tier and we're figuring this out as we go. So what do we need to do first here?
All right, so we have this app, our app, the URL list, right? And it uses Cosmos DB, uses the SQL API specifically in Cosmos DB. So what we want to do is switch over to this new free tier that they have. But it turns out that we can't just go in and like turn on free tier on our existing, collection and database instance. You have to create another database and we have to turn on that feature. And then now we got to migrate our data over. So that's what we're going to do, right? So we're going to walk through creating a new Cosmos DB database account, creating a new collection. And then we're going to use something called Azure Data Factory to move that data over. And then we'll go ahead and update our settings, our connection strings to make sure that, our app is working this way.
Perfect. And just for the context for people that are joining, you want to pull up the site real quick and just show everybody like the site and then I'll talk about it. So this is the site here. And this site gets about 56,000 requests per month. So 60,000 on a good month, not a lot. And that equates to about 2 request units per second for us in Cosmos DB, which is very, very low. And right now, the lowest you can go, I think, is 400 is the lowest amount that you have to pre-provision.
Yeah.
Is that right? And it's running us, currently it runs us a 20-ish, $5-ish a month. And so by switching to the free tier, we get those first 400 RUs for free every month, which we're not going to get anywhere near. And then that means we're going to get to wipe $25 off of our bill each month, which is pretty rad.
Well, that would be great, right? Because our app is already running fairly like in a serverless way. So we have Azure Functions for our backend, which is running pretty cheap. We have Blob Storage, which is hosting the static website, which is already pretty cheap. So anything we could do to get closer to zero, that'll be great.
Right. So this is going to take a huge chunk out of it. So let's do it.
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to pop over into our resource group. So this is where all our stuff lives. And why don't we start by creating a new Cosmos DB database instance?
Okay.
So I'm just going to hit this add button. Here we have Azure Cosmos DB. I'm going to click on that. And all right, so we need to give it a name. Make sure that it is in the right subscription. Let's come up with a new account name. We could call this the URL list since that's not the name of the existing name.
For those watching, Linky Link was the code name for this project before it actually had an actual name.
Right. Let's make sure that it's in the right location. I think all of our resources are in central US. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure because we want to keep all our stuff in the same region. Account type. Let me make sure you have apply free tier discounts. That's important. Make sure that's applied. I'm just going to leave the rest of this stuff as is because I don't know what this stuff does. And I'm going to click review and create. Oh, great. Validation was successful. Let's hit the create button. And now it's going to go through and it's going to, do some stuff. Now, I don't know how long that's going to take.
Yeah, it could take a little while. I know that it takes because they fan out and they actually create the databases everywhere in each data center. So that actually takes a while. So we might want to move on to the migration part while we're waiting for this to complete. Yeah.
So we're going to use this thing called Azure Data Factory. I've never used it before. Burke, I don't know if you've ever used it before.
I've looked at it once before. I don't remember anything.
So this is going to be like a work in progress. So Azure Data Factory. Is it just Data Factory?
I don't know. There it is.
All right. Data Factory. Great. All right. So Azure Data Factory, to my understanding, is essentially like an ETL tool, right? So extract, transform, and load, I think is what it is. Like it helps you move data around and create data pipelines and all this fancy stuff that data people do. I'm not a data person per se, so but hopefully we could use this to be able to move and copy our stuff.
I'll be interested to see how much this costs us just to make this move, because really we just need this tool and then we don't need it anymore, right?
Yeah. Name can only contain letters. Okay, that's fine. I'll just call this the URL list factory or data factory. Leave that at version 2. It's going to put in an existing resource group. Let's see if we could put this in Central US, where the rest of our stuff is. Enable Git. I don't know what Git URL branch. What do I need? I don't need that. Like, what is all this stuff?
I have no idea.
All right, let's hit create. Right, so let's create this and see how's that going. All right, so it's validating. And we could click this thing here at the side to see what the status of our other deployment looks like. All right, great. So your deployment is on the way. So this thing is going. All right. So while we're just waiting on these resources, why don't we just navigate really quickly through our existing URLs database, our collection inside of Cosmos, so folks that are watching can see what exactly it looks like. So I'm going to head back here to our resource group. Like Burke said, Linky Link was that original name of the project, and so that's the name of our existing database account. If we come down to the left side, we click on Data Explorer, so we can see some things in here that we're going to have to keep constant as we migrate this data over, right? Like for instance, we can't change the name of the actual database. So here it says Linky Link DB. And also here it says link bundles. So link bundles is the name of the collection within the database. So why can't we change the name of these things? So it turns out we're using a lot of triggers inside of Azure Functions. And so if folks are familiar with how triggers work, you have to specify the name of the collection in the database as pretty much as a hard string inside of your code. So for us to change the name of these things, we'd have to essentially have to rewrite our code or recompile and do a new publish if we wanted to change the name of these things. So we want to keep those names the same, but the database accounts should be different. Does that make sense, Bert?
Yeah, and I think that's pretty normal for database migrations, right? Like when you migrate the database, the tables, the database names are going to be the same, because if they're not, then your apps are going to break because you're querying those things, and those things have to stay the same. So that does make sense to me.
Right. And one other thing I want us to make sure that we pay attention to is here, we do have a partition key. So I want to make sure that when we move that data over, before we start to move the data over, that our partition key is what we expect it to be. Outside of that, our app has no triggers. So if we open this triggers section and see it'll be empty, we have no user-defined functions, and we have no stored procedures. Right, so it's really just our collection of items that's inside of this link bundles database.
Yeah,
right.
And only one collection. So we actually have a fairly simple migration here. One collection, one database, no programming around that, at least in the database.
Right. No, it looks like something finished. Let's check and see what it was. All right, so it looks like our data factory finished, but the other one is still going. So we got to wait a little bit.
Well, maybe we can go to the Azure Data Factory and see if we can figure out how to connect to the existing database and start setting.
All right, yeah, let's do that. All right, so let's go to the resource. All right, so this is Azure Data Factory. This is our first time in here. Here's the quick start. I don't want to watch a video. I want to say, I thought there was a button that you could press or somewhere that you could go that will show you the different tasks that you can create. How do you create a new thing inside of here? Overview.
I don't know. I thought you knew how to do this. Maybe quick start?
I mean, I did go to a quick start, but...
Yeah, it's tutorial guide, tutorial SDK. Can we not do anything from inside the portal?
I thought we could have. I mean, so the video that I watched had a thing inside the portal, but I don't see anything in here. Let me go back to the overview. There's nothing here at the top that we could look at. There's monitoring, there's documentation, author and monitor. Maybe this is what we need.
Oh, that's it. That's it.
So this is a separate thing outside of the portal? Okay.
Yeah, it looks like it's a separate app, web-based app.
All right, good. Oh, okay, great. Okay, this makes sense now. All right, so what we want to do is we want to copy data. So let's go with that. All right, and let's call this URL is I don't know, Cosmos copy. Task description. I'll just call this migration. We're just going to run it one time. That's fine. I guess, would I click nosql?
I have no idea.
Or
Azure.
No connection to display. Okay, so it looks like we have to create our source. So the source being like, where's the data coming from?
Okay.
So I'm going to click create new connection. We have Cosmos.
There
we have
is.
Cosmos in the SQL API. You need
There
that.
it is, yeah.
Okay, continue. All right, we'll call this linky link because that's what it was.
Call linky link old so that we know that that's the old one.
Linky link olds, right? I'm just gonna leave that there. From Azure subscription, I think ours is in the global demos one.
Yeah, that's right. CDA global demos.
Okay, and the account name should be linky link.
There it is.
There you go. And so the database name. And so give that a second to load. It should pull up in a second. So there you go, linky link DB. Great.
Not too bad.
There. Let's look at these parameters. Okay. Yep, I'm going to never mind.
Skip over that.
All right, and so let's go ahead and create that resource, or that source for the data. Okay. All right, so we created the source.
Do we need to create one for the destination? Oh, no, there's just the source. Okay, so that's the source.
Yeah, because if you look here on the left side, like we're going through this little wizard that's showing us what to do. So I'm guessing it's selected, or do I have to press something else? I'm going to assume it's selected.
No, I think you're good.
All right, let's hit next. Select tables. Select all. It's the only one that we have. It's giving us a little preview, which is cool. If, for folks that are watching, if you wanted to run a query, it looks like you have the option to specify a query as well. So if you didn't want to select the data as is, if you wanted to do some type of transformation, like changing the shape of your things, you could run some type of query that'll make it look different. But for us, we just want to move it from one place and put it to another place. All right.
Export as is to JSON files or Cosmos DB collection.
I don't know, but let's press it.
Did nothing happen?
Well, because I'm guessing this is saying I want you to copy our link bundles and put it into the other one. I'm hoping it'll put it into the other one with if it puts it in and it has the same, the same settings, it has the same, what's that thing called? The same partition key and stuff like that. We wouldn't have to do it. That'd be great. But I don't know. So
right,
let's see what happens. So let's go next. And so now we have to create the destination. So let's head back.
I think it's done. I think you're. Yeah.
Yeah, let's take a look. All right, deployment succeeded, right? So here's our new one. Is it this one?
Yeah, that's the one.
All right. And so, so it's here. All right, great. And so this one is just called the URL list. Let's go ahead and create a new container.
Well, do we have to do that, or will it copy it over and create it from the data factory?
I don't know. Let's try it. Let's see. Create new connection. SQL from Cosmos. We'll call this link new. The new one. We'll leave that stuff as is. This is in the same subscription. All right, the account name, the URL list, right? So see, there's the old one, there's the new one. Database name, right? So there's no database, right? So we do have to create a database, right? Because this is a required field. I can't hear you now, Burke, if you're speaking.
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, okay, so that makes sense. We have to at least tell it which database to put it in.
Yeah, okay. So remember, we have to keep the name the same as the other one, right? And so really quickly, maybe I should open another tab so I'm not jumping around so much over here. I'm going to right click this one here, Now I want to go to our existing one, and let's just make sure that we're using the same names and all of that types of stuff. So this one's just called
Linky
DB, right? Like no underscores or anything like that inside of it. And this is the new one, right? And so inside of the new one, we're going to go to the Data Explorer, SQL API. We're going to create a new container, new database, all right? And then we're going to call it Linky link DB. Provision throughput, sure. Do you want to turn on this autopilot thing?
Turn on autopilot, but I don't understand why we need to provision throughput in a free database.
Well, I think you can change this, right? Like, so even though we have like that.
I know what it is. Yeah, it's a discount. So what they're doing is you still have to provision, or let's switch on autopilot, which means we get to scale up and then scale back down. So let's set our max RUs at 400.
Okay, 4,000.
Oh, you know what? We don't need autopilot because it's not going to go down low enough. So just set the manual right now to 400. So what's going to happen is they're going to see that $24 a month, it gets deducted from the bill. So we still have to provision it. It's just that the free tier is a discount that they deduct away.
Oh, okay, got it. All right. So database name, we're gonna leave it at 400 and okay. All right, so let's go ahead and create a thing. All right, let's see what do we have in here. We have the scale settings. Okay. All right, so let's pop back over here.
Yeah, we could create the container, but let's see what it'll let us do. I don't think we need to do that. Let's see here.
Yeah, I'm going to refresh this. It's loading. All right, Linky link DB. Great. I'm going to leave that stuff. Hit create. All right, that's been saved. So we want to do the new one. Now we're selecting the destination, right? So here's the destination. We're going to do next.
Source to.
Yeah, so there's nothing there. I thought it would copy it as is. And there's nothing here. There's no option to create it. So I guess we're gonna have to create it, right? So let's go ahead and do new container and link bundles. All right, let's just check really quick to make sure it's the same. Link bundles, yeah. And then side of the settings, we just had. We just had that as our partition key, but everything else should be pretty standard.
I copied that partition key. I just copy and paste it. I'd be worried.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what I did. I copied and pasted.
Some way. All right.
My partition key is larger than 100 bytes. Nope.
No.
Provision dedicated throughput. Nope. All right, cool. So that should be fine, right? So let's hit OK. All right, and so now Linky link DB, link bundles, right? So those are the same names as the old one. Let's hit this refresh button again. All right, great. So link bundles to link bundles. Let's hit next. I don't want to enable staging. I'm guessing staging is just like giving you a preview of what the data looked like.
I think so. Just to see like if it's going to actually go or if it's going to fail halfway. But ours is we only have one collection.
Yeah, we only have one connection, and we're copying the data one for one. We're not doing any types of transformations to it. So let's hit next. Here's the summary. Cosmos copy, migration. So like pretty much all the data that we put in. Here it is. Okay, let's hit next. What else we got? It's doing a validate. It's creating data sets, creating pipelines, and then I guess it's going to run the pipeline. Is it running? Is that what's happening?
I think so. Validating copy runtime environment.
But I already came back green. Is there like another thing for me to press?
No, I don't think so. I think it's okay. Creating data sets done. Creating the pipeline.
Yeah, so this is honestly my first time ever actually using Azure Data Factory. Up until we had the conversation the other day, I didn't even know that Data Factory could do this type of stuff. So it's really cool that, for me, like it felt like that setup was really easy. I didn't really feel like I had to think too much about it. The UI was very intuitive for me to kind of like go through.
All right, so that looks like it worked. Let's see. Click on finish there and see where it brought us to.
All right, let's hit finish.
All right, so we're back to the main page. All right, so go back over to the URL list, the new instance, and see if our data is there.
Well, is it done?
It looked like to me like it ran it.
Okay. All right, great.
No,
so here we go.
Progress.
Right. So I haven't moved. I'm still in the same space that the Data Factory link took me to. And then what was happening was that this thing was like collapsed. All right. So it was collapsed here on the left side. All right. So I uncollapsed it and hit monitor. All right. And now in this monitor area, it could show you like some of these. It looks like this is still in progress. If I zoom into this.
If you click on it, can you drill in and see the details?
Let's try it and see. All right, so this is our copy task, and it looks like, yeah, our one copy task is just running.
We only have one task.
Yeah. So again, like Data Factory is a whole like transformation thing, right? So you can pull data from different data sources, you could merge them together, you could split them up, you could send them to different places. Again, this is like a powerhouse tool for like a simple copy that we're doing, but you know, it's kind of good to know that we have this stuff in here. And I feel like I learned something new today because I've never used this thing before.
Well, we successfully got through Azure Data Factory on the first try.
On the first try.
Without having read anything. Well, yeah, that's not true. You watched some videos.
I did look at some videos. You're right. I did look at some videos just to make sure that this was going to be like the right tool for us to use. Like while this is going, why don't we talk about like some of the other options that folks might have?
Right? Oh yeah. So there's a desktop option that runs on Windows that will actually copy your entire, I believe your entire Cosmos DB instance. There's a migration tool.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's open source as well. I think it's on GitHub. Since I'm sharing my screen, let me see if I can find it. I think it was called as data. Here it is.
Yeah, actually here, I'll share my screen here. I've got it.
Okay.
So there is a, let me see if I can, right here. So there's a data migration tool, and it needs the .NET Framework 4.5.1, which means that's a Windows thing, right?
Yeah, that means that it's Windows only.
Okay, so it's Windows only, and then it supports all of these different
database
sources.
Yeah.
So
sources, destinations.
Even SQL Server, that's strange but interesting. So you can download the precompiled binary. Yeah, so that gives you a zip.
Or you could go to the repo and
look at screenshots.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the GitHub repo too.
Yeah.
Here's some screenshots of it. Anyway, we thought about using this tool because we do have Windows, but why didn't we use it?
I mean, we could have done it, but I'm running on a Mac. Like, I don't want to use tools that are only Windows specific. A part of me actually went and cloned the repo, and I thought, well, what would it take for me to convert this to .NET Core? And then, you know, as I was going through that thought process, that's when we got the suggestion to use Azure Data Factory. And I was like, well, instead of me spending like a couple hours like digging into this, like, why don't I look at Data Factory? And if this could be like a quick thing for me to do, I'll just do this. But I think it might be a good exercise for folks, or even for us, to maybe still try and see if we can help help some people that might want to use this tool and send it over to .NET Core instead.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an option. All right, where are we at? Are we still running over there on the Azure Data Factory?
Yeah, we're still running. Let me reshare my screen. It still says it's in progress. Is there a refresh button? Okay, this looks like this has been at a minute for like more than a minute.
Yeah, so go back to the URL list and see if there's any data in there.
Okay, so let's go to...
That's
this is the old one?
There you go.
This is the new one. Okay, let's go here. Okay,
yeah.
Looks like there's data in here, so that's cool. I don't know if it's all the data, but
can we get a count? Can you count in the? Can you select count star?
Yeah, I could. Hold on. There's a query thing in here. Is it this?
No, I think it's the one next to it, to the left.
New query. Okay, great. I think you can do select counts like that.
Count star, yeah.
Very similar to like SQL. Oh no!
Oh,
you know what it is? It's scalar. I'm sorry.
Is it?
Yeah, scalar. Nope, that's not it.
No,
either.
I bet you it's count C dot star maybe. I don't know why that would be the case.
Counts C dot
star. Oh,
All right,
you got one too many. You got one too many parens in there.
Right.
No. Okay.
I'll figure it out.
Time to Google it.
Yep. Cosmos DB counts. I feel like I'm close though.
It is select count distinct. Oh, try this. Select and take your value out.
No, I got it. I need value. I got it.
I don't think so.
There you go. All right. So we have 2,873 records.
Why count one? Why did you do that?
Because that's what the document said to do. So that's what I did.
All right. Try it on the other linky link and let's see if we have the exact same number of elements.
So I'll click on that. I'll hit new query. Boom. We'll run that. And yeah. 2,873, right? So we have
a good migration. So let's do this. It's now time to grab the connection string and update our API for the URL list, which is in production.
Right, because we always update stuff in production.
In production. It's a very smart way to live your life.
All right, so this is the new one, right? I'm going to go down to keys, I think is what it is. Okay, and I'm going to select primary connection string. I'm going to copy that. Now I'm going to go back to our original resource group. And inside of our resource group, so this connection string is only stored inside of our Azure function that we used. So inside of my function, I'll go to configuration. And then we have a setting here called, here's a connection string. I'll just replace it. So
yeah, we should specify for people, we use Azure Functions as our API. So
yeah.
That's why it's a function project.
But this is the only place that we use it, right? We don't have any other resources or things of that nature.
That was weird. There was a semicolon on the end of that thing. I've never seen that before in a connection string. Have you?
No? Yeah, they all do. Both of them.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Yeah, both of them do. All right,
so we just changed it in production.
So now I'm saving it. We got to save it. So it's being saved.
And it's going to restart the app.
Yeah, so we got to give it a second or two. Usually for me, when I change settings inside of here, one of the ways that I force it is, so for instance, here, I'll come inside of this and I'll go to where is it? I'll go to platform features, I'll go to all settings, and then I'll restart it. Here's the restart thing. Or we could just wait 5 minutes and me and you could just have a conversation for a little while. I think you're muted again because I can't hear you.
Did it restart on its own or no?
I don't think it did.
Restart it. Let's just restart it.
Yeah, because it does restart on its own, but it just takes a second. It doesn't restart as soon as you save the setting. So for demo purposes, we usually just force that restart.
All right, so let's make sure this thing still works.
This is scary. All right, so let's go to the URL list. Okay, we should. You know what? I should have signed into it before I. Okay.
All right. Looking good so far. All right, pull one out. See if you can make some changes here.
Is this empty?
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's loading.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go.
It was just loading. All right, great. So here's some data.
See if you can make a change and save. Let's see if it'll persist.
Sure. I'm going to put shared internet URL list. I'm going to put now running on Cosmos DB free here.
Amazing.
Woo-hoo! Great. All right. So that should auto save. I hit publish now. Do I need to hit publish? I don't think we need.
Yeah, you have to hit publish.
Okay. And so there we go. Let's let's refresh it.
Yeah.
That works. Let me sign out and sign back in because that's always a good test of things. And I'll go back to my list. That was the Jacksonville one, the Jax UG one. And yep, still there. So
awesome.
I think we're done, man.
All right, cool. So go back to our main resource group there, because I want to take a look at the pricing for a second. So if you go to the cost analysis,
Okay.
because this is running us approximately $100 a month right now. But if you look back at let's look at Feb 2020.
Okay.
Just last month, it's like halfway down the list.
Is it last one? Okay.
There we go. So you'll see here that Cosmos DB ran us $35.18 last month. So we get to say goodbye to that cost.
Yeah.
We just eliminated all of that.
Right.
The other one is Azure Front Door, which we should also figure out a way to
reduce the cost of.
Yeah, exactly. Although I know there's some new stuff coming in CDN and some other stuff that might allow us to do that. So that'd be great. And then the advanced threat protection, I think I put a WAF, like a web application firewall, which I don't think we need. So we could pull that off. But
even that is just like $1. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's nothing. Storage is 40. So our API is running us 45 cents.
Yeah. No. Like that's our static website.
45 cents. The API is running us 19 cents.
Yep.
Every month. Beautiful.
So, yeah, man. So like our biggest costs are data storage and the front door stuff.
Front door. Well, we're down to $35.18 less than that.
Yeah. This looks like a win to me, man.
I can finally eat out again.
Right. I could get that meat that I've always wanted.
Not too bad. So Azure Data Factory, migrating from still a simple container collection. I wonder what it would be like in a much more complex scenario. What I'm interested in is, it's not bad for us to have to create a database and a collection. But what about the person that has a database, tons of databases and collections, and they want to move all of that to a new account where they can take advantage of the free tier? What kind of options do they have? We should look into that and figure it out, because you're not going to want to go through and create all that.
Right. For sure. And I think for me, I definitely want to spend some more time with this Azure Data Factory thing. Like for the 10 seconds that we spent in there. And I think it was pretty quick, right, in terms of like setting it up and selecting options. I thought it was a really cool experience for random. So I'd love to know what other types of transformations and things like that we could do in it.
We should probably follow this up with a blog post and check with the Cosmos DB team and ask them that question, so that folks with sizable collections and databases don't have to recreate all that stuff. I bet there's a way to do that.
Yeah, right, like it would be nice if there was like an easy button, like in Cosmos, like create my data factory thing, and let it just kind of intelligently make some decisions for you.
Yeah, that would indeed be nice. All right, man. Well, hey, thank you for working with me to do this. And thanks to everybody that watched this video. We hope that it was helpful in your migrating to the Cosmos DB free tier, which you should do, especially if you've got like a hobby project out there. I know a lot of folks do. In fact, I was talking to someone at a conference recently, and they said, when is the Cosmos DB free tier coming? I was like, it's coming. And they're like, great, I can turn my site back on. So they're just waiting for the free tier so they can turn their site back on and rock and roll.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave like this old one. I'm going to leave it for like a day or two, just, because I'm paranoid. But then, after that, we should be able to like delete some of these resources now because we're not using them anymore.
Yep, in case we have to roll back. Sounds good.
Yep.
All right, Cecil. See you later, man.
See you.
Bye.